Alright, welcome back to Twin Stick Garage. My name is Mark. I like to fix up old trucks in my spare time, and this is one of my latest projects. This is a K100 Kenworth cabover. It's a 1979, and I'm trying to build it up in the spirit of the Iron Duke truck that was used in the 1970s trucking movie called Highball with Jerry Reed.
Drop it on the head, son!
A lot of you folks out there that know Jerry Reed as the snowman from Smokey and the Bandit, but he actually made another movie that was filmed just outside of Toronto called Highball, so you might want to check that out. Not that great of a movie, but the truck is cool, so that's what I'm trying to do with this truck. Now, a lot of you viewers out there on YouTube haven't seen the last few episodes of the Iron Duke because I've got them on what's called Patreon. It's a subscription-based service where if you pay to support the channel, I send out the links to those episodes and you can see them. They're kind of hidden on YouTube, but if you have Patreon, you can see them there. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to do this week's episode on YouTube to give everyone an update on kind of what's going on with the Iron Duke. And yeah, like I say, keep you updated. And I've got something special, a special project I wanted to work on today. But just to give a quick update on what I've been up to with the Duke, you'll notice that the rear suspension has actually been dropped off of this truck, and that was a heck of a lot of work. I also took the fifth wheel off. And the reason I'm doing that is because this truck had a crack in the frame. It was cracked back here, and I was going to get it welded, but then actually some friends of mine, Peg and Dallas, stopped by and they said, you know what? Actually, Dallas has a aluminum cutoff from his 73 Kenworth that just sitting in his backyard. And I said, what do you want for it? And he goes, give me a steak dinner and I'll bring it by. So what I'm planning to do to this truck is we're going to hack it off back where the frame cracks are, and we're going to bring that new clip in. It's actually a Peterbilt air leaf, just the same as my Peterbilt truck here on airbags, so that'll be a much nicer ride. And we're going to add about 6-7 feet to this truck. So this is actually going to be, I'm shooting for a 300-inch wheelbase. So if you want to see the build, like I say, sign up for my Patreon, and you can see all the episodes. But I will sprinkle the odd Duke episode on YouTube for your viewing pleasure as well, just so you can kind of see what's going on. But if you want to see them all, like I say, go to my Patreon. So with that, what I wanted to do today was the cab here. Now, if you followed the early episodes of the Iron Duke, you'll know that I've had some problems with raising and lowering this cab. I had some lines blow out, and then eventually what ended up happening was I blew a line right off of the hydraulic ram. So I need to fix that. I went and picked up another ram from an auto wrecker. I'm going to put that on there. And then I had this great company reach out to me and they said, hey, would you be interested in some of our products? I'm like, well, what do you guys make? And they make 12-volt hydraulic pumps. So that's the goal today, is to actually get this truck to raise and lower with the push of a button. Yeah. Reached out to me is called Vevor, V-E-V-O-R, and you can search them up there on Amazon, and they sell all kinds of pumps. And hopefully the one that I got here is going to work, but it's a two-way pump, so it'll go positive pressure both up and then down, so it'll be a controlled raise and a controlled lift. And they actually use these pumps for dump trailers and scissor lifts, that type of thing. And I think it's going to work just awesome for the Duke. Oh, she's stout. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Just so you got the reservoir there with the hydraulic oil, and then you got your pump, and then your 12 volts goes into there, and then you got a little up-down button. So that is going to be so much easier than actually using the manual pump jack, hand jack to raise and lower. Now, a fellow I met at one of the truck shows, he had this same design. It wasn't the same Vevor pump, but it was a similar one. And he showed me his setup. His name was Ernie. He actually runs a big K100 big cab up to the ice roads in northern Canada. And he was showing me his setup there, and I went, you know what, that's a really good idea. So I actually, this isn't an original concept, I took it from Ernie. But what he did with his was he actually had shutoff valves in order to isolate it, because if this ever stops working or you lose power, you still want to be able to raise the cab manually. So the idea with that is I'm going to have to get some T's, and there'll be a bit of plumbing work to make this work. So you could go from, you could close the valves and then bypass this and then use the hand pump to raise the cab, and then flip the valve back the other way, and then you could use the 12 volts. So I don't think it should be too hard, but like I say, before I can install this, I need to fix the hydraulic ram that was blown out. So because of the blowout there, I'm not able to raise and lower the cab manually. So what I'm going to do is bring my Gratz Manufacturing gantry crane, I'll pull it forward, and then I'm going to use it to actually raise the cab and then hold it there in place so it doesn't fall on my head when I go to change that ram. Got to lower the river.
You can't raise the bridge, you got to lower the river. What are you talking about? Lower the river. Let the air out of the tires. Come on, buddy, give me a hand. Let the air out of the tires. I love it.
Oh yeah, and I got a friend coming over later today. His name's Blake. He's got a YouTube channel as well called Fly, Weld, Fabricate. Go check it out. He's got some neat stuff on there. And he offered to come by and help figure out a place to mount this. Because if you know me and you know the channel, you know I kind of suck at fabricating stuff. Oh, is that magnetic? Oh, mint. Squirrel! And so what he's going to do is he's going to come by after we get this set up, and we'll figure out where to mount it, and then he'll weld in some brackets or build me some brackets. But I'm thinking probably somewhere in here would work. Kind of tuck it in there. Hopefully it clears from the tire, and then also clears from the cab. But I'll play with that and find a spot to mount it. But yeah, I'm excited about this. This will be a fun project. So here's the ram that I was talking about. There must have been some dirt or something in the lines. More likely some rust or something. And when I was trying to raise the cab, well, it probably would have been last year, it actually blew this line right off of there and popped her back, made a hell of a bang. So I just assumed, I never make assumptions, but I just assumed that Kenworth couldn't get these anymore, and even if they could, that they would be ridiculously priced. So I went to a local auto wrecker and picked this up off a big old K100 Aerodyne. It's an exact copy of the one that's on there, so hopefully it works. Now, I paid a little more than I probably should have for this, but again, I didn't think you could get them new. And then there was another fellow trucker out there that reached out to me on Instagram, and he goes, Mark, you can actually, here's the part number, and you can get them from Kenworth. We just bought a couple new ones for our cabover. And I think they were like 300 bucks new. So that's probably, I think, pretty sure that's what I paid for this thing. So I paid the same price that I could have bought a new one for a used one. So be aware, people. Always check with Kenworth before you go to a wrecker to buy something. But anyway, I need to get this out of here. So I'll try and get this big old nut off of here, take the lines off. Now it's going to be a little tricky to try and get that bolt up there because there's just no room. So that one I'm probably going to fight with. But at least this one's easy. So we'll do the easy stuff first and then work our way to the hard stuff. So what I'll probably do is take this off of here, take these lines off because I need access to get at that nut. And this thing's right in the way. Oh man. Yeah, I wonder if I just undo these hose clamps, you can swing it out of the way. Maybe that'll work. But boy, oh boy, road salt sure eats away at everything. Look at that. You can see daylight through the headlight shell. Oh, it's gonna be lots of work. Now what I'm planning to do with all of the undercarriage here is I'll cover up the engine, and then what I'll probably do is, well, I can't sandblast now that I'm in here, but what I'll probably do is use a needle scaler, clean this up as best I can, and then I'm just gonna spray the undercoating or truck box liner type stuff, spray that all underneath the cab here. I think that'll work good for sound deadening and then a protection from any more corrosion. But, oh, lots of stuff to do before I get to that. All right, I think I hooked that up correctly. So, let's find out. Move this out of the way. What I should be able to do, probably need to add some oil. So I don't have any more hydraulic oil, but I do got ATF. They're both hydrocarbons, they can mix together, right? It'll make some kind of super hydraulic fluid, some kind of blend, but it'll work. That's a good sign. Does that mean it raised up? Oh, man. Oh. See, the cab's not very heavy. Doesn't take much. And interestingly enough, the cab's only held on with two, probably, I don't know, 3/4 inch bolts. So if a guy wanted to, you could actually take the cab right off the truck. And I thought about that because I could take the cab off the truck and set it to the side, and it'd be so much easier to put in that new dash from Carmen, do all the wiring, do the interior without having to climb up into it. But the only problem is, it's so wide, where am I going to put it? I'd have to put one of my other trucks outside. I mean, I wonder, I could use the gantry and lift it up. I wonder if I tilted it sideways and plopped it down beside. Anyway, food for thought for another day. Yeah, this looks like it's going to work. Perfect. Okay, so at least the hand pump works now, but you can see how much work it takes to get the cab all the way up in the air, which is probably why Ernie, being the old trucker that he is, just got tired of doing this nonsense every time he had to get to the engine, so that's why he went to the 12-volt pump, which is what we're going to do today. Okay, it looks pretty straightforward here. Double acting hydraulic power unit. Huh. So the power will go here on the hot side of the relay, so positive there and negative grounding on the motor. And then of course the low power side of the relay is where the switch is. So you'll either have the motor spin one way or the other. There's an inlet and a discharge line, and of course this is the reservoir, and it holds about 1 gallon. So I'm gonna have to run off to Princess and get 1 gallon of hydraulic oil to fill that up. And then the lines here, I don't know if these are 1/2 inch or 3/8, but the lines down here are 1/4. I've got hose for that, but I'm gonna have to adapt it up to make that work. So I'll have to run and get a bit of brass and then figure out where I wanna mount this thing. Now it'd be nice to kind of tuck it away. This stuff doesn't look that weatherproof, so it'd be nice to have it underneath the cab. So I'll have to try and find a spot for it, and then hopefully Blake stops by soon and we'll figure out how to strap it in. But yeah, this is gonna be cool. All right, I figure what I'll do now is raise this up and try and find a spot where I'm gonna mount this thing. That way at least I'll know how long the lines need to be. Man, this is a lot of work. You, Blake? Yep. Come on in. Okay, so good timing. Blake just showed up and got his voice here, so we got some cartoons going on the old TV there. I don't know if they want to watch Smoke in the Van. Check that out, Swing. Now, we're going to put this in there. I was thinking kind of tuck it in the corner here.
Yeah.
And I hope it wouldn't hit the wheel. Now these are 22.5, so the tire will be a little bit bigger. But I'm wondering if it can be mounted somewhere down in there.
Yeah.
I'll be able to grease that.
The only thing you gotta watch is your tire flares.
Yeah.
If you're going hard rate,
Yeah.
you want to make sure that you're not hitting that.
Oh, this thing will be going hard right for sure. 300-inch wheelbase.
Dude, you get all trims. Yeah, just make sure you clear that, and then it's just that one's for your tin. You're throwing rocks at.
Oh, never thought of that. Well, theoretically, this can go anywhere. Because it's just lines.
Exactly.
Try the other side.
Location to have that nice and displayed and easy.
And then you can jump out of the truck and hit the button. You think it would fit there? I think that would be a nice spot for it. Now, how would we bolt it to that? Strap it?
Just build a whole saddle,
Oh, there you go.
right? And then you can fucking have a strap going around.
And then it just sits right in there.
Just build a whole box.
Okay. And then bolt the box to there.
Yeah. Because that part's gonna be steel.
Yeah, here. Yeah.
So we can even weld it to it, so you don't have bolts coming through, because you don't want bolt vibrations coming on the edge there.
Yeah, that's right.
Those wear holes. So
That'd be the end of the.
so we can either build a box, weld it up, or do like countersunk bolts and go through, and then you just do like pieces of rubber in there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of vibrating isolators. Drops in. You can do some sort of saddle and bolt clamp thing.
Nice. Is that something you could weld up?
Oh yeah.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Sweet. Thanks, Blake.
Yeah, right.
All right, so check this out. This is the box, the mounting box that Blake put together. And man, did he ever do a beautiful job. So first he welded it up, and then what he does is he grinds it down, and then his trick is he uses 80 grit on an orbital and just cleans that up and makes it look like the welds weren't even there. Cut a nice hole for the drain, and it just fits like a glove. So now what I need to do, I want to powder coat this, which will be cool because it'll actually fit inside my little oven there. But what I wanted to do first is I got to remove that fuel filter off the frame mount there. I'll have to find another spot for it in the future. And then I'll mark out those holes, drill the holes so I can mount this on there, and then I'll powder coat it and throw it in the oven. Oh, that stuff smells disgusting. Oh look, lubrifier. Okay, so my plan is with this truck is once we get the clip welded on there, I'm going to sand down and do body work on the frame rails and then paint everything the same color. Probably a nice metallic red, like the support brackets, saddles for the fuel tanks, the back mount for the cab, probably this air can. Looks like I need another band. Just paint this all one color, and this mounting plate here would be no exception. So I was going to clean it up today and paint it black, but I thought, no, we're going to paint the whole thing one color, so we'll leave this. So we'll mount the bucket that holds the HPU unit on here, and then when I go to paint the frame rails, I'll just drop these 3 bolts and just take that off of there. So the bucket will be black, and then this mounting plate will be red. So, okay, let's get at it. I guess I'll get that bucket over here. Clamp it on there and then mark them out from behind so I can drill those holes. I need that second set of hands. And something like that looks pretty sharp. Looks like it should clear. The box will just fit down there. The intake pipe will go over top. Yeah, I'm digging that. Now Blake was even kind enough to loan me his center punches. Now these, you can get a set of them. I gotta go pick a set up at Princess Auto next time I'm there. But they're different diameters. So the diameter of the hole that's already drilled is 1/2 inch. So that just fits in there. Maybe I'll move the camera so you can see. There. You can see that it just fits right in there. And what this is gonna do, I'll give this a whack. And there you go. 3 holes marked out. So down at Bolt World, I got a couple different options. I got carriage bolts, which have a bit more of a rounded profile, and I'm worried that the box won't actually fit in there, just because it's such a tight fit. So I also got these flatter mount bolts. Now they didn't have the same size diameter, so I'll have to drill a little bit of a smaller hole, but that's no big deal. Now I was just checking to make sure that the bolt flats will get through, and that looks like a 31/64. And Blake was even nice enough to loan me some drill bits. Man, that guy's a class act. So we'll put that in here, and we'll drill those 3 holes, and this thing should be able to, turn it the other way, Mark, should be able to mount it on the truck. I better grab some safety glass. You only get one set of eyes. Well, that's pretty close. Maybe a touch more. I think that's gonna work good. All right, so I flip-flopped again, and I realized that as cool as it would be to powder coat this, I think I'm just gonna leave it unpainted. And what I'll do is prime it and paint it the same color as everything else. I just think, thinking about it more, if it was black and everything else is red, I kind of want it to fade into the background and then have the black HPU unit sit in there. Okay. We'll just leave it bolted in, something like that. Okay, I threw a couple gallons of hydraulic oil in there because I figured when it's standing up, it's going to be hard to fill. So I figured it'd be easier to fill sitting on the bench. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, look at that. Beauty. All right. So Blake was figuring that we still need a strap to hold it in there from bouncing out, despite being a pretty tight fit. So I got a couple buckles that we'll just tack weld on there and run a band over. But for now, I think we're good. Okay, so time to plumb this guy up. Oh, that's a little loose. I'll tighten that up. Time to plumb it up and see if we can't make it work. Okay, so I went over to Greenline to figure out how I'm going to make this work. And essentially what it needs to be is 2 closed loop systems, independent of one another. So essentially, if you think of blocking this one out, you've got the hand pump on this side, and it would work the same as it always does. As you raise and lower, it just raises and lowers the rams and cycles hydraulic fluid in both directions through there. But then you need to be able to isolate the hand pump and have the HPU cycling the oil. So what I came up with was a couple of ball valves that what you could do on both the HPU and the hand pump, like that. So when these are open and these are closed, you can use the hand pump and it'll cycle oil through. And then you close these and open these, and then you should be able to raise and lower with the push of a button. And then I got a couple of T's to connect those 2 loops together. And yeah, I think this should work. It's pretty straightforward, and it seems to work on paper. So what I need to do now is to go down there and mount. I got a whole bunch of fittings, so I'm going to mount these guys into the HPU on the inlet and the outlet, something like that. And then I'm going to use this 1/4 inch line, or I guess it's a 3/16 outer. I think it's a 1/4 inside diameter, and I can just make my own lengths and just put these fittings on the end. I've used those a lot in the past for both air and hydraulics. And so that'll be the 2 lines that go over to the hand pump, and then I got to mount these 2 ball valves local to that, and then connect it all up. So home stretch. It's exciting. So that's looking pretty solid. I had to run back the green line to get a couple of 90s so it could actually fit in there. And then I modified the handles so they're a little shorter so they fit in the tight quarters. But that should work good. Okay, so next what I need to do is I've got to start plumbing the same thing on the hand pump.
Traveling again and everyone's
Okay, so I couldn't have them perfectly in line because they wouldn't clear, but this will actually work. That's not too bad, and it looks half decent. Okay, so now I need to connect in some T's here, and that'll tee into the up and down, or the push and pull lines that go to the rams, and then the other side of the T will go over to the in and out on the hydraulic pump. Yeah, getting close, real close. My booze don't need a buddy.
Nah, no, I don't need to trip out on no acid.
Okay, so these come apart and then they're reverse threads. So what I like to do is kind of push it on there and then I just impact it in reverse. Whoa, here I come.
Oh, here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
And you don't want to impact it all the way because you'll spin it right off. And then essentially this guy just goes down and spins the other way. Now you want to be careful putting this, putting the top hat in here because it doesn't take much and you'll just shear it right off. So you want to stop when it gets tight. There, snug is snug. And that's how you put an end on these lines. The cool thing is these are actually reusable too. I've actually backed these off of here and off of old lines, replace the lines and just reuse the ends because those can get pricey. Okay, so it's all plumbed up. Lines are connected and I've closed off those lines. So I should be able to open these and probably gonna need some more oil. And I just want to purge all the air out of the system with the hand pump. Now what I'm planning to do here is I'm just going to use jumper cables. Obviously there's no batteries in the truck and I'm going to wire it in properly, but this is just to see if this works. Positive. Open up the valves and get out of the way. Okay, moment of truth, folks. Drum roll, please. Making noise. Maybe I got it in reverse.
I hope you kids see what a silly waste of resources this was.
Well, that's a big pile of nothing. All right, what's going on? Those are closed. Is it not drawing oil? It sounds like it's just freewheeling. Huh. Damn it. Now I wonder when it's sitting upright, maybe the pickup is a lot higher and I don't have enough hydraulic oil. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah. Well, I guess what I could do is, just for the purposes of trying this out, kill the battery power. Maybe what I'll do is I'll raise the cab, give myself a little more room, and I'll raise this up and then tilt it on its side, because I don't have any more hydraulic oil. I only bought 2 gallons of it. Guess I should have bought a 5-gallon pail. All right, well, let's try another angle here. Okay, take 2. I just pulled the pump out of the box there and tilted on its side. Now I can open the valves. The valves are closed on the hand pump. Okay. see. How come we got no power? Oh, just get them off. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, I got it backwards. Down was up. Oh, that is so awesome. I just got it backwards. But look how cool it is. Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, so I got it backwards. Okay, that is still really cool. All right, so I got to do a little more plumbing changes here, and just got to flip these two lines, and this should work. And I guess I'll have to go buy more hydraulic oil because there's not enough to pick it up when it's standing straight up. So this reservoir probably needs to be filled right up to where that plug is. So I'll buy some more oil and flip those lines, and we should be golden, but... Oh, that ain't good. Oh, that ain't good. Okay, a few more bugs to work out. So I've been working on a few different iterations. I've been trying different things, closing valves, opening valves, and I can get it to go up, no problemo. Huh? Isn't that slick? But down is another story. So I don't know. So right now I got the valve in down position, but if I have it here where it's pulling the oil, it jams itself up. So I don't know if it needs to go through that 1/4 inch line and flow through both rams and then flow back, and that's how it lets itself down. And it just can't, so when this pump is sucking on and trying to pull the oil out of the system, it bogs down and it jams up. So I'm sure there's a solution in there somewhere. I know I'll figure it out. So what I need to do is I gotta get, I don't like the fact that it's just laying here sideways, kind of rickety on the fuel tank saddle. So what I'll do is I'll get some more oil, I'll set it up in the box there, and I'll maybe go and have a few beers and think about it. And I'm sure there's a solution in there somewhere, because it wouldn't go up so nice. There's got to be a way to get it down, to go down in the same fashion. That is awesome. So special thanks to Vibor for sending me that pump. Special thanks to Blake for welding up that box and helping me out with some of the tools and some guidance there. Obviously a special thanks to my patrons. They really help to support the channel. So thank you so much for that. And thanks to all the viewers out there. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for following along. And like I always say, don't ever forget, if you got it, trucker brought it.